Mishmash! Kitbash Corner!
Yeah, today I got another random Chaos Space Marine Warband kitbash for ya. In the last episode, I took on the Pyre, which are definitely one of my favorite warbands. However, this one also inspires a little bit of a fiery influence. Not necessarily because of their lore, but, yeah, I realized this unfortunately rather late into editing this video, but the Company of Misery, as you can probably guess from the title, is our focus for today. And I like them a lot because Kane is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Though I do love tackling the odd Space Marine chapter, Chaos Warbands are always so interesting to me because they're so all over the place. Absolutely bonkers color schemes, names like the Orphan Cripplers or the Baby Punters. They are all just delectably edgy. But to edgy even further before we get into all that good stuff, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, share it with a friend, and if you really dig it, consider becoming a channel member. For just $3 a month, you get to see my videos early, and for $5, you get access to a weekly Q&A stream in which I'll showcase your models. And above everything else, it just really helps me out. Huge thank you to my channel members. You guys are amazing. And if you'd like to help the channel even further, you can use my discount codes and affiliate links in the description for some amazing hobby products, as well as some interesting miniatures and everything alike that I use on the channel. But enough of the promotional stuff. I think it's about time we do a little lore dive on the Company of Misery. The Company of Misery was once formerly a Loyalist Space Marine chapter known as the Desolate Brotherhood. They were known for being assigned to impossibly dangerous and downright suicidal missions such as assaults on death worlds, space hulks, and quarantine zones. In a way, they're kinda like if the Lamenters just decided to take the black pill. A large proponent for why they were treated in such a harsh manner was due to their degradation of their gene stock. However, the chapter would remain painfully naive and hopeful that if they completed these horrific tasks, they would earn reprieve within the Imperium. But it may shock you to know that every time they would just be sent on even more dangerous missions. Their rightful feelings of disregard and mistreatment by the Imperium would culminate in the acidic swamps of the planet known as Misery. The Desolate Brotherhood would undergo the transformation into the Chaos Undivided Warband now known as the Company of Misery. Admittedly, I have no idea why they were mistreated so poorly. This just seems like a really bad idea. And to a degree, I don't even really blame them. All things considered, why wouldn't they? However, their lore doesn't stop there, as there have been many sprinklings of attacks on Imperial worlds, such as enslaving an entire planet and annihilating every single psyker within the planet itself. They would also assault an Imperial archival world in which they would come to blows with the... Wait, what? The Legion of the Damned, holy shit. Unfortunately for the Company of Misery, they would be ultimately successful in one way or another with this mission. Sort of. But their forces on the planet would be completely wiped out by the Legion of the Damned. There's definitely a part of me that feels for these guys. They were treated horrifically by the Imperium. Though becoming a Chaos Warband out of spite is a little cringe. Just become renegades, dude. But considering just how harshly they were treated, I can't entirely fault them. Treating them like suicidal units is a little puzzling to say the least. But at the end of the day, is it really that surprising? There's plenty of Astartes chapters that have been treated worse and are still loyal. Regardless, they have a cool color scheme, and wow, what a fucking downgrade. Yeah, this is what they look like now. Yeah, it's great. Excellent. Okay, I'm gonna stop yammering. I think it's about time we get into the kit bashing. Now for the building process, I decided to utilize a Khorne Berserker body. However, the first thing I needed to do was to remove all the Khornate symbols, as these guys are a Chaos Undivided Warband as I stated previously. This is relatively simplistic. Slicing it down and smoothing things out is the first thing I had to do, and I don't really think this medallion is going to be showing up too much on the model anyway. As for the Khornate symbol on the loincloth, I just kinda casually snipped it away and I replaced it with a Wargames Atlantic zombie head. I honestly could have left it as is, but filling in that gap was kind of a necessity. However, for his weapon, I decided to use an Astartes shotgun. This is kind of a happy accident, as I didn't really know exactly what I wanted this figure to be until much later. In fact, I kitbashed this guy a few months ago. But considering these guys were once loyalist, I feel like it fits quite well. The only main issue I had to do to kinda chaosify this was to slice away at the Inquisitional symbol. Once it was good and sanded down, I decided to give him an old school Chaos Power Pack, just because I like these better. The original idea for this model anyway was more or less to be a renegade space marine. One that wasn't necessarily chaotic, but I don't know, I kinda failed in that department. Now for his arms, I ended up initially just using the original Deathwatch arm, but I didn't like how this looked. So I decided to use two M6 Corvus arms, and it fit quite well, all things considered. I did have to use a little bit of sprue goo to fit it into place, but I would give it a little bit of time to fit into place, and with just a little extra sprue goo here and there, it ended up fitting quite well. Now for his helmet, initially I just decided to use a Mark 7 helmet, as once again, this was actually just supposed to be a Renegade. But I decided to ultimately use a different helmet, and this is where I apologize. I don't know where the rest of the footage went. But for his new helmet, I decided to use the Longhorn's helm from the old Chaos Space Marines kit, and for his pauldrons, I decided to utilize one from the Command Squad of the new Horus Heresy line, and the other is simply an old Chaos Space Marine pauldron. I'm rather embarrassed I don't have the rest of the footage for this, as this is something that really doesn't happen all too often. But I will say, the painting process is something I'm really proud of, and I'm just a general fan of painting red colors. I would say it's one of the easier colors to master in terms of acrylics. But I will say I did complicate things just slightly, and you'll see momentarily. To begin the base coating process of the model, I actually made a very odd mix. This is 1:1 dark green gray and burnt red from AK Interactive. Together, these colors formulate a slightly darker and even more intense version of corn red. Literally the only reason I actually made this mixture in the first place is because I've been painting a lot of squigs for my Gloomspite Gits, and this is a really good starting paint. But we kick things into a higher gear, as in this episode we're going to be doing a little sponging. I first decided to begin sponging the entirety of the model using a little bit of deep red. I'm focusing this mainly on the areas where the light would meet the model, however I am kind of going with the classic heavy metal style of just highlighting everywhere. I really don't need to do this, and I assure you, you don't need to do this. But like with shading, it's one of those methods that you can easily get carried away with. Now to move on to our next color, I decided to mix together roughly 1:1, deep red from AK Interactive and some orange red from Proacryl. Orange red is definitely an MVP of this paint job, but we'll get more into that as time goes on. As you can see, I've focused this mainly on the raised surfaces of the model, and already it is very similar to that classic cane red. But before we get into even deeper detail, I first want to do a more direct shade. To do so, I'm actually just using the exact same mixture we used for our base tone, this being the dark green gray and a little bit of burnt red. I'm specifically tracing this into the recesses, and once I'm happy with how it looks, I would begin painting the black flames using a little bit of pure black from AK Interactive. At first, you don't really need to be super dexterous with the flames, mainly because the bulk of the left leg is engulfed in the black. However, as you can see, I would slowly begin tracing in the flames, as the boot design is a little bit easier to trace them in, mainly because of the spikes. This kind of gives me a nice directional area for where I want to apply these. And another bonus for this scheme means I don't have to do as much chaos trim. But we still do need to paint the trim with the black. However, I did end up actually adding another additional sponging of some pure orange red, and I would focus in a little bit of pure orange red highlights into some darker recesses. In hindsight, I probably should have applied the black after applying these highlights, but I don't know any better and my brain is small and underdeveloped. Just make sure to clean up afterwards. Next for the horns, I decided to base coat these using some tenebrous gray. Do I just have a very limited vocabulary? Well, I did say very. Yeah, whatever. While I could have just used black, I found this color to be a fun way of differentiating the horns from the main black of the armor. However, as time went on, I decided to wet blend into the horns with some dark ivory. This creates a slightly purplish reddish black. I was really happy with how this looked, and it was something different. Though their newer color scheme is actually featuring this longhorn helmet, I thought it'd be fun to play along with the colors and make it my own a little bit. Again, you don't really need to do all that much, and honestly I probably should have blended this a little bit more than I did, but I'm happy with it. It looks rough and tumble, and I think it contrasts nicely with the rest of the armor. I'd also use the dark ivory to fill in the eyes, and we'll fill those in later on using some contrast colors. Now for the loincloth, I decided to paint this using some rubber black from AK Interactive, along with the little, well, I guess it is just the loincloth, isn't it? His belt. It's his belt. Also, I lied about contrast colors. The colors I used to fill in the eyes are green glaze from two thin coats mixed with a little bit of yellow glaze. Now, I usually don't go into this, but for all the metallics on the armor, I decided to paint this using some dark silver. There's really no metallic colors depicted on the original color scheme, but I thought it would be a good fit for the chain ball, as well as any other metallics in the rivets and indents on the armor. Once this dried, I then begin shading all the metallics and little cloth areas using some Oblivion black wash. This is a pretty simplistic method, and normally I do mix a little bit of Oblivion black wash with some battle mode wash, but I felt a cooler shade would be more befitting for the color scheme. To give it some badass extra flames. It would have been interesting to do the same color as the armor, but I decided yellow flames would be more fun. To base coat, I decided to use a little bit of warm brown with some warm yellow. This is purely to give me a nice base coat. And once it was dry, I would paint a little bit of black on to create some interesting flame curls. Once the black was dry, I'd begin slowly layering over using some warm yellow. This takes quite a bit of time, as you can imagine, but the undertone makes it a little bit easier on us. This took roughly 3 coats to get an opaque finish, however you'll notice that there is still plenty of the undertone showing. Well, this is on purpose. This allows a little bit more for an interesting color rather than one bright, annoying, obnoxious yellow. Like I mentioned off camera, I'm now just cleaning up the flames a little bit to create more desirable patterns. It's not my best work, I'll admit, but I like how it looks overall. At the end of the day, my goal was to create something that looked akin to the early 40k days, where just about every single army had weapons with all sorts of bombastic designs. Blood angels with hazard stripes, checker patterns, just extra goofy details to drive home just how wacky this setting is. However, to finish it off, I would use just a little bit of warped yellow on the brighter edges of the yellow itself. It's almost obnoxious, but not too obnoxious. Now, once I was happy with the yellow, I'd begin finishing the highlights of the red using a mixture of orange red and a little bit of pure orange from Pro-Acryl. I would say the red is more than tabletop ready, but this final highlight really makes things pop. And this is actually my favorite part of painting red anyway. Bringing out these really bright, bombastic colors just makes red such a treat. I know they're a first founding chapter, but man, I really want to paint some Blood Angels again. Now to highlight the black, I would first use a small highlight of rubber black, and then I would mix it 1-to-1 using some neutral gray from AK Interactive as well. This allows the black to really pop out and stand out from the red armor. However, honestly, if you didn't want to highlight it, I don't think it would look that bad. A hyper-vacant black would actually be quite interesting. And honestly, in some light, it is a little difficult to tell where the black and the red end, mainly because it's such a matte finish. However, this is greatly alleviated using satin varnish. Well, with that, another proud member of the Company of Misery is complete. And I gotta say, for something that I kinda threw together using some old stuff, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I know by this point, this is essentially my equivalent of slop content, but I gotta say I do enjoy making these. I enjoy painting Space Marines, and Chaos Warbands have so many whack-ass color schemes for me to paint, so I might as well just enjoy myself. Plus, considering my last video was around 55 minutes, I think I've earned a small break. But hey, above everything else, I hope you enjoyed it. And, like always, if there's any other schemes you want to see me paint, Chaos or Loyalist, let me know in the comments. There's a plenty I do have on the chopping block that I'm not telling you, hee. But I'm always open to new suggestions. Like always, I've definitely flattened my beak enough for one video. So make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, share it with a friend, and remember to mishmash, kitbash, and paint some fantastic miniatures. And you're gonna. I promise. See ya.